Why Vikings trusted this river more than the sea. The Vikings didn't fear the sea, but they respected rivers more, because rivers decided who survived the winter. The River Deben isn't particularly wide, it isn't dramatic, and it isn't the sort of place you'd expect to shape Viking strategy. But it did. For Norse sailors arriving in East Anglia in the late 9th century and early 10th centuries, rivers like this were worth more than open water. The North Sea got them here, the Deben kept them alive. Viking ships were shallow draft by design. That meant they could move from open sea into tidal rivers without unloading, without ports, and without actually announcing themselves. A fleet could slip inland on a rising tide, beach safely, and disappear again before anyone inland understood what had happened. That made rivers tactical, but it also made them domestic. A longship wasn't just transport, it was shelter, storage, a floating base. Along the Deben, Viking crews could anchor close to fresh water, grazing land, timber, and existing Saxon farms. They didn't need to burn villages to survive. They needed access, and access came from water. Archaeological evidence across East Anglia shows Viking activity clustering around navigable rivers rather than exposed coastlines. Rivers reduced risk, storms were weaker inland, ice formed later, and escape routes stayed open. The Deben, with its tidal reach stretching far inland, allowed Viking groups to move supplies quietly between sea and settlement. Trade goods came in, agricultural produce went out. This is where the image of the Viking raider breaks down. Because once you're using rivers like this, you're no longer raiding, you're logistics planning. By the early 10th century, Viking leaders in East Anglia weren't just warriors, they were managers of movement. Ships became ferries, crews became settlers, and the river became a shared artery rather than a border. Even Anglo-Saxon communities benefited. River trade increased, markets stabilized, North Sea goods entered everyday life. Amber, silver, weapons, cloth, all moving quietly along waterways like the Deben. This is why Viking influence here feels subtle rather than scarred. There are fewer burned layers, there are more blended ones. The river didn't witness a single moment of conquest, it witnessed thousands of journeys. Each tide carried people in, each ebb carried goods, stories, and customs back out again. Standing here now, the water looks calm, predictable, almost boring. But 1,000 years ago, this was one of the safest roads in England, and the Vikings knew it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, please leave a nice comment, and please subscribe to our channel for more content like this.